Hi, Judy.
Hi, Tommy.
You alright?
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Judy and Heidi are newbies.
Yeah, I know.
How exciting.
I know. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, welcome to the Madhouse. You don't have to be crazy to work here, but it does help.
Quite crazy.
Those of you who are newbies, if you grab your starter kit, if you've had your starter kit, then the products that we're doing tonight, rather cleverly, I have to admit, I have tied the two themes together, so a lot of them will be your starter kit.
Fabulous.
And preferably with a glass of wine.
Excellent.
Oh, I got my starter kit. I got my starter kit in March, and some of my items are slightly different to the latest one. But I have got Be Lovely stuff here.
Brilliant. And if you've got a Wildrose Beauty Balm and the Be Lovely stuff, you can't get far wrong.
Yes, I've got it here.
Hazel, Penny, hello, welcome. Joe, welcome. Ruth. Right, guys, those of you who have just arrived, people are gathering with a bowl that you can put your feet in, or your hands, it's up to you, the feet's even better. Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
And you also want 2 teaspoons of brown sugar in a bowl if you can.
Oh, I'll go and get it.
In a different bowl.
I'm
Okay.
feeling excited about tonight. We're actually going to experience it like Christmas do, isn't it?
I had sugar here all along.
You had sugar here. Which hotel did you steal those out of?
I'm not telling.
Sean,
Yes.
did you say a bowl with brown sugar, yeah?
Yeah, a bowl with some brown sugar in it, just about 2
Feet, so big enough for feet.
Sugar here all along.
No, a bowl for your feet, hot water, and like a cereal bowl, something a bit smaller that's got 2 teaspoons of brown sugar in it.
Hands instead of feet if you want to.
Is that what everyone's running around doing?
Yeah, there are quite a few newbies on tonight, and I've said you don't have to be mad to work here, but it does help.
Okay.
Sorry, Sean. Is the sugar supposed to be in the bowl for the feet? Sorry.
No, keep the brown sugar separate.
Oh,
In
I put the
like
sugar in the bowl for the
Like
feet.
a cereal bowl. So here's my little bowl. I'm just going to put my brown sugar in. There you go. Like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
perfect.
I'll run again then, get some more sugar.
Okay, perfect. We have
There's
some
sugar, no
Melissa
water.
on the call. Who's Melissa? Melissa, I need to see your face.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Have you got video, Melissa?
I have, yes.
Go on then, let's see your face.
Can you not see me?
You're going to be featuring in some of our products tonight. I can't believe we've actually got a Melissa online. That's so cool.
Brilliant.
Hi, everyone.
So, guys who are just joining, Ruby, hello. Jane, hello. If you want to, you can go and find a little dish like this one with some brown sugar in it, about 2 teaspoons, and a bowl, like your washing up bowl with warm water in it that you can put your feet in, and a towel. And so if you've got products that you've collected together, you know, if you just write your notes, that's really fine. Hi, Caroline.
Hello.
Hi.
Wait till it's moved then.
John,
Yes.
can I just ask, is the brown sugar going to be in the warm water in the small bowl?
No, it's going to be in a small bowl, Heather. We're going to do something else with that. So all you need in your foot bowl is warm water.
Right, okay.
All right?
Yeah, that's lovely.
And those of you who are new, if you've got your starter kit with you, that would be amazing, because we're going to be using quite a lot of the products in your starter kit.
Because if anyone else has that smart kit, I'm going to know that.
Hi, Camille.
Hi.
Have you got products with you, lovely, or are you just writing notes today?
I'm joining in briefly. I've got a work thing that nurse work stuff that I need to do at 8:45. So I thought I'd just jump in and say hello.
This is where we do clap for the carers. That's really fine. You can just join in till 8:45. We better crack on, hadn't we?
That's all right, give or take. I'll wait. It'll wait.
Okay, so hopefully, yeah, you can use the chat. Dana's saying hello to everybody. Hi, Shay. Hi, Beth. Loads of you tonight. That's so nice. Hi, Claire. Nice hair.
Long hair.
So I'm just going to say it one more time. If you want to, and you want to have your starter kit, those of you who are newbies, or the rest of you, Be Lovely, Wild Rose Beauty Balm, Melissa, if you've got it, you know, the things that I put in the list on my Facebook group, have those, and then you need a bowl that you can put your feet into with warm water in it, and a different bowl, a little bowl like that, with 2 teaspoons of brown sugar in it. Okay, and that's all. Loads of people joining in. Excellent. Hi, Julie. There's Melissa. Great. Get to see what she looks like now. Okie doke. Right, we're going to start, guys. And I'm going to share my screen. Go. Wait. Here we go. So I know that lots of you have not been with me for one of these trainings, so bear with me, those of you who are regulars. So this product picture that I've got for the beginning of our training this evening is the little image that I've used for my own customers. You can see that I've got my customer evening is on the 20th of May, which is actually World Bee Day. Have to be careful how you say that. That is a day for the bees, not for any toiletry implements that we have. So 20th of May, if you haven't booked your customer event, that would be a really good day to do it, but it doesn't have to be the 20th. And what I did is I took a picture from, I just searched bees on Google, and then I put it through WordSwag, which is an app where you can apply writing on top of pictures. It's brilliant for customer stuff. So if you want to pinch that idea, you can.
Thank you.
And what we're going to do tonight, I hope, is go through with some sense of how it is to be a customer on the receiving end of an evening like this. I wouldn't be sharing my slides with them. That is for you, for consultant information, so that you can make some notes and you've got some information to chat about as you go. But what you can do is you can either message me and I'll send you the slide deck afterwards and you can print them off, or you can take some notes as you go and just write a few one-liners on each of the individual slides as I go, so that you feel confident about your product knowledge for when you do your own event. So these are some precursors, really. You can read them for yourselves, but those are my top tips, and I've slightly altered a couple of them for this week, for those of you who've been with me before. Just out of practice, really, just things that I found helpful in doing my own customer online socials. And the key one I want to highlight on that page is getting your samples sorted out early, because postage wise it's a bit intermittent at the moment. So pick a date, something like the 20th, where you've got plenty of time to get your sample pots. I'm going through sample pots like there is no tomorrow. Quite scarily at the moment, on 2 big orders that I had from last week and the weekend, I've got 100 on order. But the reason being, I had 11 people on a social last week, one of the 3 that I did last week. And if you're doing 3 or 4 pots for each person, that's a lot of sample pots. So to get them ordered nice and early, and hopefully you've got some in stock now. I have checked and there are plenty in the warehouse. Although Donna, who does our stock control, was a little bit concerned about why I was asking the question. Why? What are you planning for your team, Sian? Do I need to know about this in terms of replenishing our stock? Okay, so those are the top tips there. Does anybody have any questions on those preparation notes there that are on the screen? Great. And I have done a video that is on my YouTube channel on how you set up an online party link. So if you haven't seen that, message me or find out from your upline leader how to get hold of that YouTube channel. There are loads of videos you'll probably find useful in there, but that particular one is good if you haven't done an online party link before. Okay, so the ideal really is not to do what I've done tonight and send you all off to get your bowl of water and your brown sugar now. It is to warn people in advance of what they're going to need. But having finished off the ideas for the training at lunchtime, I decided I wasn't going to do that for the purposes of this tonight, because I knew there were too many groups that people had advertised this event on. So I thought it was easier just to wait till you all join me tonight. But in advance, send a message, a reminder to the guests who've booked into your online event, and ask them to bring whatever you want them to have. So for tonight, that would be the things that I've suggested. The samples that you've sent out to them, a bowl that they can put their feet into, and a towel, a bowl with some nice warm water in. Or if they want to, they could use a bowl for their hands. And about 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, preferably. It doesn't have to be brown, but brown sugar is a bit more natural, it's a bit less processed, in a little dish. And that's all they need to bring. Okay, so I just wanted to share something else with you that is available. So knowing how to screen share is quite important. And when you use Zoom, a little box with an arrow comes up, and that is the screen share, and you can choose whatever screen is open behind Zoom image. So you're seeing yourself and you're seeing the other guests, but what you want before you open the Zoom account is to have open what you want to show your customers. And so what I've done here is I've opened up, if I just move myself out of the way, don't know if you, oh yeah, you can see there, top left-hand corner, it's my replicated website. So I've gone to my replicated website, and in there you will find this information on the bees. So can everybody see that screen share now? Just checking that it's working okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And actually, as you go through a celebration of our link with Saving the Bees, and this aim here that's at the top to support 50 million bees by the end of 2020. So we've got to get on with it, because we've got about 8 months to go to the end of 2020. One of the projects that we've been supporting is this project with the cashew orchards in Ghana. So if I discover more and I click on that, can you see that?
Yeah.
This is one of the images that you've got a still of in downloads. So when you go to downloads, if you click on the Be Lovely folder, this image is there as I think it's an Instagram tile. But I love the way they've done the path. So 3% of what people purchase in the Be Lovely collection goes to bee-friendly charities. And over half of that helps a charity called Bees for Development, who are busy boosting bee numbers in Ghana. And the way that they're doing that is they're introducing bee colonies into the cashew orchards. And not only is that helping the bees, but in true MYR style, the cashew farmers are benefiting, because the extra pollination is increasing the yields of cashew nuts. So actually, end result, the farmers are earning extra income selling the honey, but they're also getting a greater yield in their cashew nuts. How great is that?
Fantastic.
And I think that's a really nice link to show your customers. Now, if I just go back, click back here, so that's what happens when you hit this Discover More button. If you scroll down, there's a bit more on the bee numbers in Ghana. That's exactly the same image. There we go. I hadn't really realised that. And then this Rooftop Hives one, I can't get to work. So I've emailed the office about this, but by the time we get to the 20th, that might be a video that we can watch. So I'm on that one, okay? Now, if you keep scrolling, the bees, the flowers for bees in terms of habitat, this is quite interesting. Look at that, 97% of UK wildflower meadows have disappeared since the 1930s.
Oh. Wow.
Quite horrendous when you think that is the elderly generation that are alive now. In their lifetime, 97% of UK wildflower meadows have disappeared. So we can do our bit by planting anything that helps pollinators, and many of the ingredients that we use, like lavender and rosemary, have got and thyme and things like that, are really bee friendly plants. So just even having a conversation with customers about what they have in their gardens that are bee friendly. And what I'm going to do is get you just for a moment just to bang some ideas into the chat, please, because that's what I'd be doing with my customers, and just say, what do you have in your garden that you know the bees love? There you go, just 1 minute to put some things in the chat. Yeah, lavender, rosemary and lavender seem to be the top two at the moment. The apple blossom, my tree has just gone over with the apple blossom, but it was absolutely full. Buddleia, yes, alliums. I've got some of those big Christmassy eye alliums in mine, and the bees are just incredible. Dandelions, love it. Yeah, but they're good, really good. Okay, great. So this is the other thing I just wanted to highlight. This timeline, which I hope you've seen. So how did we get involved? This goes back to 2011. I can remember this. It was a massive PR exercise and marketing campaign. We launched our Save the Bees campaign and the issue was around neonicotinoid pesticides. Where's my bee gone? I think it might be at the bottom. International Green Awards for doing that, and Save the Bees had raised 13,000 at that point. First Bee Lovely product is launched, and then in 2012 the range was launched, and the same lady who designed the wrap for our Wild Rose Beauty Balm, an artist called Alice Shields, who's based in Bristol. Heather, she's in Bristol. Bristol.
Look her up.
There we go. She designed the original Bee Lovely design. Nikki Nolan, this lady here in the middle, underneath number 10, she was head of PR at that time, and they took in 120,000 competition, many of whom were our customers, basically to help secure the continent-wide ban on those neonicotinoid pesticides. So the company's been really heavily involved. There's the bee, it's moving. Look, watch. Just walk. Look at that. He doesn't, he flies. Back up. There we go. It's moving. £50,000 at this point. So only 3 years after we launched the first campaign, we're on £50,000 in 3% donations. And then 2016, Planting Wildflowers. 2017, our Bee Lovely All Over Balm. 2020, £165,000 raised. And that somewhere between 2013 up here, where we'd got 2014, where we got 50,000, and here we basically worked out the 3% for and the particular charities that we wanted to support. So Bees for Development work was the key one, and now we've got our new look branded range, which we know and love. So work out how to screen share, because I think that's a really nice thing, don't you reckon, to show your customers?
Yeah, it is.
Really nice. And you don't have to know all of that. It's already there on your replicated website. Okay, so let's get into some of the products. This image is also in downloads, and all I did actually was screenshot one of the workshop slides that's in the Bee Lovely folder. Just did a selective shot and inserted it into the slide, so you can do that as well. Just love it with the buttercups and the Love in a Mist and the lavender in the background. So actually the first thing you can explain to customers is the key ingredients that run through the whole collection. So the fair trade honey, the orange, mandarin and glycerin are key ingredients that come up in the collection, kind of through the range in the different individual products. So the fair trade honey That's key because it's organic, it's certified organic, it comes from Mexico. The reason, in case you're not sure, the reason why we have to get our organic honey from Mexico is because the land mass is big enough to be able to certify the honey as organic, because they can actually keep track of where the bees are flying. Whereas in the UK, they are going to be pollinating in fields that have had pesticides on them, which is a sad reflection on our country. But in order to guarantee it being organic honey, we need them to be near land areas where there are no pesticides. And so ours comes from Mexico. It's ethically sourced, so actually the people who are collecting the byproducts from the bees, the honey, the beeswax and the propolis, they only harvest the excess from the hive. And if you've got somebody in your party who's a key advocate for the bees, they probably will ask about this, because in the bad press, products from the bees are harvested too rigorously, and they don't leave enough for the beehive to stay healthy, and it compromises the health of the bees. In some situations, they actually take all of the honey from the hive and give the bees a sugar solution, which actually weakens their immunity. So they need to be allowed to keep some of their own honey. And obviously propolis is their own way of keeping their hive free of bacteria. So they need to be allowed to keep some of that. And obviously beeswax is the structure of their hive and used to protect the eggs as well. So really important that ours is farmed sustainably and ethically, and obviously the last thing we're going to do is do any damage to the bees. The orange and mandarin fragrance that you know in this collection, and orange, there we go, to uplift, relax and a feeling of harmony and optimism. We could all do with a bit of that right now. And mandarin, traditionally used to calm, soothe and support positivity. So this is absolutely a collection for today, isn't it? And then glycerin helps to moisture the skin, but it actually also traps moisture into the skin, so it helps to prevent with loss of moisture. So this is a really good range for people with very dry skin conditions. I know of a few people who've had particularly dry eczema for whom this has been revolutionary. So it's good to know what the key ingredients are from across the range. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now, if you've got the products with you, is to take the Be Lovely hand wash. Take a little bit into the palm of your hand and give your hands a wash in the warm water that you've got. And then if you want to, you can add some more to the water and put your feet in and give your feet a nice warm soak whilst we're looking at the rest of the products. And what you've also got on the slide there are some key product features that you can just make some notes of that will help you. But enjoy the fragrance of the Be Lovely hand wash if you have it.
Oh, I love this range.
It's so lovely, isn't it? It smells divine.
I love it.
Right.
And then
Right, I don't know about you, but I'm going to squirt a couple into that washing up bowl, and I'm going to get my feet in there, a bit of a slosh about. Oh, that's so lovely.
So Sean, is this range okay then for vegans?
Well, technically no, Heather, because it's got animal byproducts in it. However, that will depend on the vegans for themselves, and we've got some vegans online, and I'd love to know your view on this. As I've sold this product over the years, some vegans love the fact that we look after the bees and we save the bees, because there are two elements to it.
Yeah.
And actually, because we source the ingredients ethically and sustainably, and they are supporting the project, they're happy to use the products.
Okay.
Some would say, no, I'm strictly vegan and I don't use anything with animal byproducts, and so we find other solutions in our range. I just wondered if there's anybody on the line who's vegan who would be happy to share what their view would be on that.
Sean?
Yeah.
So I'm vegan. I was a Neal's Yard consultant first. And I've struggled with this for a long time, but I've actually come to the conclusion that you just said, basically, is that I'm happy in the way that we source the products for this range.
Okay.
Or the ingredients for this range, and I'm happy that we're supporting the bees and not destroying them and their way of life, basically, by making this range. But interestingly, I mean, I don't use any other, I don't eat honey, I don't use any other honey products anywhere else in my life. These are the only ones that I do use and promote. Wherever possible, I do try and use vegan Neal's Yard products. I love the frankincense and mandarin, for example. But I'm happy to support this range because I know I've had a look into the work that sort of goes into it, and I know that they're doing good things for the bees. So
yeah, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's great. Anybody else got the same or different view? Is a vegan? No? Don't forget to unmute if you're talking and I'm ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. It's because you're muted. Don't forget to unmute. Just to pick up a couple of things in the chat, Frederica, you were asking about the wildflower seeds in store. That was just a store offer to entice people in and a nice giveaway. I don't know anything about it, and obviously that was all set up before the lockdown happened. So if you want to source your own wildflower seeds and things for customers, you're more than welcome to do that, and that's perhaps a bit late in the day to do for this year, but something you could put into your diary to note for next spring and have a look, or perhaps save seed from your own garden. That would be nice from this year, and make up little brown parcels for envelopes and things for next year, perhaps.
Sean, I think one of the links from, it's either the Plant Life one or the Friends of the Earth one, I can't remember which, they are linking to like a free seed pack that you can sort of get from them. I was going to share that link with my customers.
It's Friends of the Earth, and I think it is a free packet of seeds, but you're asked for a donation at their website at the point of requesting it. So yeah, but have a look, and you might have seen it referenced on that screen share that I did from our replicator website. It's there, and if you want to click on the link, then go for it. Frederica's raised an interesting point. Not a vegan, but my vegan customers were not too fussed about the beeswax. It really is a personal choice, and guys, we've got plenty of other products that they can use in terms of hand wash, etc. Shay, of course, has raised a good point that if you want to, you can switch in the hand wash with the Be Lovely bath and shower gel if you want to, and here's some information on that. Now, interestingly, on the website, and I don't know if anyone's got any up-to-date information on this because I haven't actually purchased this for a little while, but the Be Lovely bath and shower gel did have a flip-up lid, but the picture in the website at the moment has got a pump. Has anyone got any update on that and what they got recently? I know there was a little bit of an outcry when it went to flip-up lid because everyone loved the pump. Certainly easier for children to use, but put that in the chat if you know the update. But the other thing to feature here is that the bottles are 295 mils instead of 200 mils for the same price. So for me, that really enhances the being a family-friendly range. You're getting nearly half as much again for the same price. And obviously the bottles are plastic, recycled and recyclable, but a bit safer than the glass if you've got younger people using it. So yeah, great. I think it might well be a pump bottle now. So, I know it is on the website at the moment, but have a look at that. So the other thing with the bath and shower gel and the hand wash is the fact that you've got moisture richness going in as well as cleansing. So there's nothing about this product that makes your hand feel dry. And obviously in terms of the hand wash, that's quite key at the moment with, let me just go back to that one. Moisturising, fair trade honey in there, quite important with all the hand washing we're doing to have moisturisation as well as it smelling nice. Okay. And actually, I've put in there the next generation. That's a point I've just written in, but I think it's really lovely to be able to talk to other members of your family who are younger, to be able to say, you know, actually we're buying this and some money goes towards the bees, show them the thing in Ghana, the project in Ghana, and just knowing that you're making a difference. Sometimes for children, projects can be so overwhelming, can't they? Or problems can be so overwhelming, and to know that they're playing a part in that is really important. Okay, so the next little beauty in the range that I wanted to feature is this one. And I think this little tin is our lovely, delicious Lima Jar answer to the other enticing tins that you can buy in chemists, shall we say. The little Be Lovely tin. See, it's my tester one. And it is brilliant for beautiful lips, but it's also amazing for cuticles. So if you've got some, just flip my spatula away. If you've got some with you, then treat your lips, not your cuticles yet, because we're going to get our hands in that water again in a minute. But just give it a little bit of a chance to do its job. And if you've got any other dry patches, then give some attention to that. And I put here, ideal as a magic cream for owies. This is a kind of handbag essential for mums with young children, I think. I don't know what you called those cuts and grazes and bumps and bruises. In my house, when my children were little, they were owies, and best served with a kiss. But when you need a magic cream, this is pretty good. It's got cocoa butter and beeswax in it and organic honey. It's amazing. Oh, I've left the bottle on there. That's not the right thing there. I didn't take that one out, sorry. But actually the little tin to counteract the petroleum filled ones is important to help your customers to understand that the basis of our balms are not petroleum or mineral oil. They are natural ingredients, beeswax and cocoa butter. It's about as natural as you can get. Now, with this all over balm, this one is why you need your brown sugar. So if you've got the all over balm, if you take a little bit of the all over balm and add it to your brown sugar, you will find it makes a rather incredible and rather beautiful body scrub. Ah. And if you haven't yet invested in this all over balm, I would say this is very much worth the investment. And you could put a little bit of this balm into a sample pot and encourage your customers to make a gritty scrub, which I'm going to suggest you apply to your hands, or preferably to your feet and ankles and lower legs if your skinny jeans will allow, or your pajama trousers. Nobody's going to be looking. If I just show you what that's made, it's like looks like that rum butter that whoops, spilling it on my laptop. Rum butter that my mum makes at Christmas. It smells completely incredible because it's now sugar and sugar and orange and honey. Has anyone else made some with me?
So how much? Sorry, Sean. How much all over body balm do you put with your 2 teaspoons of brown sugar?
Oh, Heather, I don't know. About half a teaspoon. I'm afraid I'm not very good when it comes to recipes. I tend to put in about that much.
Okay, that's fine.
I've got no idea, but until it feels about right, because the balm, of course, starts to deteriorate, disintegrate, and goes quite moist, and then you've got the grittiness of the sugar being held together by the balm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right. Those of you who've got it, start applying.
2 teaspoons of sugar.
Preferably to feet. So what other job could you come to a training session and rub sugar into your feet? Okay, if you don't have the all over balm and you're not able to make this, you could mix it up with some Wild Rose Beauty Balm if you want to, and you don't have to use half a teaspoon of it. You could just make a little bit up and dab a bit of sugar into it and rub it into the back of your hand, couldn't you? But what's happening as I rub that into my feet is the sugar is dissolving. I'll see you in a couple of hours. If you don't have the all over balm or your products with you, your Wild Rose Beauty Balm, and you're feeling a bit envious, could you just put something in the chat? I'm dying to know what you're saying now. I'm now spreading all over balm and sugar all over my laptop. Totally envious, I love it. It is a bit like Wild Rose Beauty Balm in terms of consistency, and it has that delicious ability to melt. You're getting wrinkles, Kay. Your feet been in the water too long. I'm just getting wrinkles because I'm the wrong side of 50. Right, okay. When you're ready, you can take your feet out and just put them on the floor and wrap them up in a towel. They can sit there for a while. Or your hands, if that's what you've done. I have to wrap my feet up because my dog loves the smell of Be Lovely, and she will be at my feet licking now if I don't wrap them up in a towel. Okay, just seen the comment about taming wild hair. Yes, you can use Wild Rose Beauty Balm and this lovely balm. Whoops, where have we gone too far? For taming frizzy hair. But look at all those other uses for it. Nourish your knees. Hard-working hands. So take a little bit, like where it's needed most. You can see from the state of my hands, I don't know if you can see that, I've been painting Grace's bedroom on and off today. And the edges of my fingers feel really rough from the sandpaper, so that is just really soaking into my skin. After play skin savior, especially swimming and outdoors. You know, when, excuse me, your skin just feels a bit sun parched, it's perfect for that. And the fragrance of this is just the honey, and it's got orange in it. That's quite sweet. Love to know what you thought of that scrub, those of you who made it. Emma, did you add some to yours with you and Nicole there? What's going on in that house?
We're being a bit mischievous.
It doesn't taste nice.
It doesn't taste nice.
You're not supposed to be eating it.
We've got a sugar addict in the house.
Oh, have you? Okay, that's
but
cool.
Our hands and feet feel amazing.
It's so nice, isn't it?
It smelled good enough to eat, so we were brave and we did taste it. I don't advise it.
Yeah. Jay says it's divine, but not for eating. Definitely not for eating.
Not for eating, but
Okay.
Our hands feel amazing.
And those of you who are brand new, I know there are 2 people on the call who haven't even had their starter kits yet. You know, I bet you can't wait to get your hands on these Be Lovely products. It's going to be so nice to have tempted you into this before your products arrive, hopefully tomorrow. Right, Be Lovely Body Lotion. I've gone for this because the Be Lovely Body Butter, just so you know, heads up, is long-term out of stock. It's on the longer out of stock list. Not the longer one, the longer term out of stocks list. So home in on the body lotion instead, because that is in stock. Oh, Kirsty, you got yours. Good. I'm glad your starter kit's arrived. Okay, so again, 295 mils for the same price as our 200 ml lotions. And obviously it's, you know, from age 3, which is our, is really nice to be able to access these products nice and early, and is a really nice stepping stone actually from the baby range. So if you want something like the baby bath, what's it called, bath and shampoo, and then somebody's feeling like they're a bit too old for that these days, then obviously the hair and body wash that we've got, bath and shower gel that we've got in Be Lovely is a nice step up. Okay, and then we've got this beautiful collection, which is a really nice taster of all of them. The little pot at the top is the all over balm. Then you've got travel size of the bath and shower gel and the body lotion, and a full size hand cream for £25, which is a really, really lovely gift. This is one that I have in stock all the time, because for those crises presents, when people say, have you got something, this is a surefire winner. Ruth, I'm sorry about the scrubby bits all over the floor. That's just, it's just the price of being a consultant. I'm sorry. Judy's made hers up with the Wild Rose Beauty Balm. I love that. Work outside doing forest school, so normally my hands are covered in mud and get quite dry. Brilliant. I'm really glad this is helping, Judy. We've got another product in a minute that will help your hands. Mine are in need of some attention as well. So before we use the hand cream, I just want to tell you the benefits of this and the features of it, but don't try it on your hands yet, because I want to go on and use the Melissa hand polish. But it's exactly the same key ingredients and just that lovely skin conditioning and spirit lifting aroma. And I think this is one of those creams that's best in multiple places. You need one in your bag, one in the house, one on the desk, one in the car. Yeah. I think if they did a set of 4 Be Lovely hand creams, that would be a pretty good hand cream collection, wouldn't it? Okay, so then we have, moving on from our Be Lovely collection, some of the other products that are in the starter kit, most of them, but also are really good for being outdoors. And I just wanted to talk a bit about antioxidants. So antioxidants basically combat the impact of free radicals, and much of the free radical activity that goes on in our skin is as a result of sun damage, pollution, stress of the day, etc. So taking a theme of being outdoors, being a bit sun-kissed, maybe catching the sun in the way that I certainly did at the weekend, feeling a bit pink, Wild Rose Beauty Balm is a perfect answer. But as we know, it does gazillions of things. But anything with antioxidants in it are great for being outdoors as the spring turns into summer. Wild Rose Hip it's Rose Hip that is the wild rose part of this product. So it doesn't smell of roses, it's not rose petal, it's using the hips of wild roses that grow in hedgerows. And as you can see there, they are a rich source of vitamin A and E, which are very beneficial to the skin. Those are 2 of the antioxidants. And I love that quote from a beauty journalist who just said, when I'm just really tired, it just lifts off makeup. This can be a bit of a lazy product, and it also is a desert island product because it does so much. So I would suggest that for the summer, 2 of the main kind of skin nurturing ways of using it for the face would be the ones I've listed there, the exfoliating cleanser and an intense nourishing treatment. So just to be able to cleanse with it and use the muslin cloth that comes with it. It's like this one, and then to take that off because the muslin in itself is mildly exfoliating, and then reapply, and to be honest, just go to bed with it on your face and let those oils soak in. But what I've also done is I've picked up a couple of the images that are on available to us in the Wild Rose Beauty Balm folder in downloads. And these 2 I thought were brilliant. There's the 10 ways to use it, and also a lovely sustainability quote. I love that, leaving 10% of the fruit on the bush. Why is that? For the birdies.
Yeah, for the birds too.
How nice. I love the detail that this company cares for the world with. I just think that's a really nice image. And so actually, as we celebrate Wild Rose Beauty Balm, and as you do your build up to your outdoor and Be Lovely event, that would be a nice Instagram tag image tile to use. So that is in Wild Rose Beauty Balm folder in downloads. So I'm just wondering how you use yours and whether there's anything other than the 10 things that are listed there that those of you who are experienced consultants can share with our newer people, because those are the top 10 ways. There are probably others. So if anyone's got any, please will you put them into the chat. Emma said after sun. It is a brilliant after sun. Yeah, the pinkness on my shoulders at the weekend, I actually felt a bit warm in the evening, and I put some on whilst we were watching some television in the evening on Sunday. And the next morning, my skin wasn't pink anymore. Great for mosquito bites. That's a new one, Dana. I love that. Yep, healing burns, although not to be applied to broken skin, just to be clear. If it's whole skin, that's good. Yeah, any kind of nettle sting or grass, anything like that. Yeah, it reminds me of holidays, Susanna. I like that, using it as an evening perfume. We also have a Wild Rose body elixir, which is a similar fragrance, and that's really nice for all over. Yeah, good one. Up my nose against hay fever, and obviously that's really seasonal at the moment, and often what's recommended by nurses is Vaseline, which of course is petroleum, so a much nicer version than have around your nostrils. Cuticle softener, definitely hair taming for those of us who don't have fine hair. Cracked heels, really nice to put on just to soothe your feet. So obviously we have this in a sample sachet. So when you're doing your event, I would recommend that you dish out a sample sachet of this and encourage them just to tear the top corner of that sachet. There's so much Wild Rose Beauty Balm in there. They won't need to use all of it in one go. But maybe they'd like to apply it in some of those ways that we've just suggested. Okay, so this is another treat for your hand. Melissa, lovely to have an actual Melissa on the call tonight, really nice. But Melissa is the Latin name for lemon balm, so many of you probably have this growing in your garden. It makes an amazing tea. And oh, that's a nice thing I just saw in the chat. Somebody said that one of her customers had bought 10 little pots of Wild Rose Beauty Balm to give to nurses. It's really good for the sore area around masks at the moment. So if you are collecting money for hand creams and products for nursing and caring staff who are wearing masks all the time, a packet full of sachets of this would be really nice. So back to the Melissa hand polish. This is a natural hand exfoliator, so if you've got it with you, you can treat your hands to some of that. The gritty bits in it are argan and rosehip seed powders, and it's got aloe vera in it to help just soothe and condition the skin, which after you've been gardening or decorating like I've been today, and certainly for those that are needing to use a lot of hand sanitizer that isn't ours, that kind of soothing element of this product is really special. So if you've got some Melissa, you can enjoy that. And Melissa's fragrance is very uplifting. It's actually got some frankincense in it as well, but the main fragrance that you smell will probably be lemon balm. Comes in a great big, long 100 ml tube. So it's a lot taller than the hand cream. If I show you next to the hand cream and put them together, and it's a wider tube as well, much bigger. So you get lots for your money. Anybody using that now? Somebody trying it?
Yeah, I'm going to try it now.
Yeah, good. And of course, this is one of the things that we also have as a hand cream. And the Melissa hand cream is a bit underused. I think we often refer to the geranium and orange and the wild rose and the garden mint and bergamot. So really nice time to to highlight that as our other hand cream that's available. It does make your hand feel incredibly soft. I'm standing here holding the tube and I just can't resist anymore. I'm actually just going to use a bit and give my hand.
How many times would you actually exfoliate your hands, Sian?
You only need to do this probably, well, it depends how much you're outside and using your hands to work with, but probably once a week, maybe once every 5 days at most.
Yeah.
You'll start to feel it change. I mean, those of you who are using it now, you'll probably feel quite a profound difference in how soft your hands feel and how much it's sloughed away the dead skin cells from the surface of your skin.
Yeah.
And once you've got that nice feeling, actually, as soon as they start to feel rough again, you want to get back on your Melissa hand polish. Some of you have heard me say this before. I keep this in my downstairs bathroom that's just off my utility room. And when I have friends over for coffee or whatever, I can always tell if they've been at my Melissa hand polish because it takes ages in the loo. And they come out rubbing their hands together. And it's like, well, you shouldn't leave your products in the bathroom if you don't want us to use them. So, but it just is one of those wonder products. It's so nurturing of the skin as well as exfoliating. So what of course is the other benefit is not only does it feel nice, but because it's taking all the dead dry skin cells off the surface, when you now use your Melissa hand cream or your Be Lovely hand cream, actually you're nurturing the newer, fresher cells underneath, and you'll probably need less hand cream than you would have done before.
Oh, wow.
What you've also probably found, if your hands are a bit dry, mine were terrible, is that the oil, the nourishing part of that Melissa, just completely soaked into my skin. I've just got bits now, there's no stickiness. So actually, if that's the case, if you add a little tiny bit of water, just dip your fingers in water and just add that to the product, it will just help to carry on with the exfoliating process. But the fact is that's soaked in because my hands needed that moisturization. So the last thing you want is a drying exfoliator. You want one that's going to nourish whilst it's doing its exfoliating work. So I'm just going to have a rinse and I'll be back.
Beautiful smell, isn't it? Oh,
it is. It's really sunny. I think it's a really lovely product. And of course, Melissa, perfect for featuring for our outdoor work because it's so good for hands that are, you know, gardener's hands or just being outside hands, but also because lemon balm is such a common product to find in our gardens. Yeah. If you've got lemon balm in your garden, it makes an amazing tea. If you just break off a sprig and dump it in a cup of hot water, it's beautiful as a herbal tea, and then you just literally just pull the branch out. Yes, and Melissa, I love that. Thank you for highlighting that. Melissa has actually put in the chat that Melissa means honeybee in Greek. Oh. That's nice, really nice link with our Be Lovely thing tonight. Thank you, Melissa. Right, here's another one. White tea facial mist, a handbag essential in my view.
Oh, no, I didn't bring that in.
Part of the starter kit, and white tea is rich in antioxidants. So going back to what I said about free radical activity, this is a really good cooling, refreshing spritz for hot days, for what my mother calls power surges, any hot flushes like that. Really hydrating, so good, not that many of us are going to be flying in the near future, but good for holidays. And also actually just for those days where you could just do with a bit of pick me up. So that lull, about 3:30 in the afternoon, this is a really nice one. And you just hold the spray kind of not quite full arm's length, sort of with your arm bent. And the best thing to do is spritz it upwards and then let the mist fall down on your face.
Right, okay.
Like that. Oh, enjoy that one if you've got that one with you.
Yes.
Oh, I've gone all dreamy. Geraldine says the white tea face mask is great. She's got one on now, which is why her camera's off, so don't try and find her. Love that. So this is your chance to feature whatever you want from the white tea range. I completely agree with you, Geraldine. That mask is incredible. I've tried mostly to stick with the starter kit products, but I have snuck the white tea eye gel. So we're going to do that one next. But just to note there, overheated skin and sun-kissed skin for the white tea facial mist. And then part of the range as well, really good for hay fever sufferers, especially served from the fridge. And you just put one squidge onto your ring finger, like so. Dot it across. The reason it's your ring finger is because that's your weakest finger. So you just can be really gentle with dotting that around the eyes. It helps with puffiness and dark circles, and really helps revive tired, dry eyes. I've got a friend who had, you know, when your eyes get really dry and they just start to weep at the side, she just couldn't stop this eye from leaking. She tried everything. She'd been to the doctors, gone through everything in the pharmacy. And I gave her the white tea eye gel, and she said it's the only thing that sorted it out. It just balances the moisture levels. But this is a really good one for people in this season who suffer from itchy, scratchy eyes with hay fever. Also really good for stinging eyes from being in front of a screen and for overtiredness. Sarah, I like that. Also good if you've accidentally poked your eye with your mascara wand. The white tea facial mist, I love it. Hazel, which one is your daughter's hay fever saviour? Is it the white tea eye gel or the mist?
The eye gel.
Eye gel, brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You've got that one. Good.
He has mild allergies to like cats as well. Not really, really bad, but it really helps with that as well.
Yeah, brilliant. That's good. Yes, not just hay fever, any allergies. You're right. Yummy. Right. So if you're doing this with your customers and there are some of these products you've got and some you haven't, you obviously don't have to use them all. What I've done is chosen a selection of things so that hopefully you've got choices from the products that are in your kit, and maybe there are a couple that have really inspired you that you think I'd like to add that to my kit for this season. Okay, the Orange Flower toner I don't actually have, but I wanted to feature it because I thought Orange Flower was a really nice addition to the starter kit. And I've got this one and the facial oil, so they're both Orange Flower, and my mock orange is growing really quickly in the garden, but obviously the blossoms of orange are really nice additions to summer gardens, so it's a nice link. Melissa's going to buy it, I like it. Okay, nice things in the chat going on if you want to have a look there. So this toner, you may decide you want to keep that for a facial party and just talk about it, but I want to say that toner is a mystery product for many people, because people aren't quite sure what it actually does, and it should always just finish the process of cleansing and start the process of hydration. Our toners are not alcohol based, they're water based, so they're really, really gentle on the skin. And those of you with starter kits, I cannot recommend highly enough you trying the toner in your starter kit, just on a cotton pad. Apply it to your face. It smells absolutely divine. Orange Flower is the Orange Flower facial oil we're about to do is my favourite product of all time. But you will be quite horrified at how much dirt it will take off your face, even though it smells so gentle and is so gentle on your skin. So really good for dry skin types, Orange Flower, but also seasonally for people who are outside a lot, they might just need a little bit of extra nourish, so that if their skin is feeling a bit sun parched. Okay, so you might decide that you want to skip this one too, because that we don't have this toner in a sample sachet, and it is pretty tricky to stop it from leaking from a sample pot. But if you do want to feature it when you're doing your own events face to face later, once we're out of lockdown, then definitely feature a toner. So this orange flower facial oil, simply because we did the rose facial oil in a previous workshop, but if you want to use the rose facial oil instead, obviously roses are also great at this time of year, but this one is in the starter kit, so I wanted to feature this one. And the benefit of a facial oil is there, it says there, replenishing your skin's natural moisture levels whilst helping to protect it from future moisture loss. So when your skin is sun parched and your moisture levels are a bit low, this will really replenish your skin. The angle on it for the winter, of course, is central heating. But for the summer, it's when we've been outside and the sun has stripped the moisture. And if you've got a facial oil with you, let me just move my images out of the way. You can just, if you take the pipette and just squeeze a couple of drops onto the tops of your fingers, you literally only need a couple of drops, rub across the top like that, and then you just want to apply to the face, sweeping motions like that, and enjoy the fragrance. There's a lovely page in the catalogue about how to do a facial massage on yourself, well, and on others, but actually really nice in the evening if you cleanse before sitting down, and then take your facial oil with you and just sit with your catalogue and practice some of those techniques. Really, really relaxing. So a facial oil will work deeper in the skin than a moisturiser. So it's actually going to be nourishing the skin cells that are below the surface and that are coming to the surface. So if you can have those skin cells in best condition when they get to the surface, that's brilliant. It's anti-aging in its effect, and also in terms of health and well-being, of course, you've got your skin cells as nourished and nurtured as possible, as plump and firm as they can be. Now this one I've put in because of the ingredients. Look at that, pink rosebuds, chamomile. I don't have any lime flowers in my garden, but I have got pink rosebuds and chamomile. And actually to sit in the garden, to be outside and just have a moment of peace is really lovely. And if you haven't had our herbal teas, I find them to be very gentle. I wasn't really into herbal teas. I'd only used brands like Pucker before, which I find quite strong. Ours are very gentle. And some people prefer a stronger herbal tea, but you know, go into it with an open mind and try these if you haven't done so before. And the quiet time tea is really nice for a moment of peace and space. Of course, so's a glass of wine, but it's better for you. A floral blend that also contains spearmint, lemon balm and licorice. Now again, I don't have any licorice in my garden, but I have got spearmint and I have got lemon balm. So the feature really here is just really common ingredients that we have in our gardens. People will be familiar with. Yeah, and nice comments in the chat about this. Can't recommend them highly enough. And also the box itself is a treat. I did go hunting for my quiet time tea and then remembered I'd given it all out because I used it for the sleep and relaxation workshop I did for my customers last week. But all the sachets come individually wrapped, and they're just, the boxes are incredibly informative. Every side, every flap has got writing and little nuggets of information. So enjoy the box when you order them as well. And then last but not least, this unsung hero. The way I remembered this when I was first a consultant 11 years ago was calendula for cuts. This is our natural equivalent of Savlon. Really soothing and moisturizing, but also just so gentle for irritated skin. So if you've been out walking and you've got grass rash or heat rash or anything like that, this is a brilliant product. Oh, Emma, you used it when you were breastfeeding. Do you want to tell us more about that? Susanna's got it in a walking kit. Go on, go for it. I'll have a sip of wine while you tell us. Emma?
I thought I'd better type it rather than say it.
Oh, you put it in the chat. Okay. You put it on your nipples, didn't you? I just know it's coming. There we go. Save to crack nipples. There we go.
It really was the saviour of new mum breastfeeding hell.
Did you have to wash it off before the baby latched on?
No, I didn't actually. I just let it soak in. So I didn't put it on immediately afterwards. I put it immediately afterwards, not before.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was my saviour.
It is brilliant, and I just think to have something with completely natural ingredients in for bumps and grazes and scrapes is really good. So, as it says, any skin that is in need of TLC. A family must have, absolutely. Sharon, what do you use it for? And Susanna, you said you got it in your kit. Anything else that I haven't added there?
Eczema.
Oh, okay.
I get between the fingers, I'm getting like small rash.
Yeah.
And well, everyone uses it at home, but it's healing.
Brilliant. Thank you. Susanna, have you anything to add?
I don't think so. I have a little first aid kit, and that's always in it. So if anyone falls, scratches a leg climbing a tree, pretty much anything like that, it's the product we go for because it's quite calming. And I've got a lovely picture of my daughter getting it out of the first aid bag to give to her friend because she'd fallen over. It's really sweet how she started doing it.
I love that. So that's your owie cream rather than the little Be Lovely tin.
Yes.
Which, by the way, now that you've used the Melissa hand polish, if you want to, guys, you can put a little bit of that around your cuticles, just nurture up around the dry patches that catch on the edges of fingers. Those of you who've got starter kits coming, you've got one of those little tins in the Be Lovely gift set that's got the tin and the hand cream in it. And no doubt some of you also managed to get some of those as gifts were purchased over the weekend as well. So you've got tins on your way. Let's have some photos on the team page of all those gift sets arriving. It'd be so nice. I can't wait to unpack my order. Becky says, I need to stop coming to these sessions. I'm going to be broke. I love it. All the more reason to host some of your own events, Becky. Right, so then we've got the hay fever blend, and here in my diffuser, I think it's absolutely essential to have a diffuser when you're doing these online events. I've sold more diffusers in the last 2 months than I've sold probably in years of being a consultant. And if you've got them, you'll sell them. I don't mean pre-order them. I mean if you're using them yourself and they're there in people's field of vision. And obviously the main one that we've been promoting recently is the Defense Blend, because it's 99.9% of all bacteria that it kills off. But what I've got in the diffuser now is a blend of 3 oils, which are peppermint, lavender and lemon. And my very wonderful friend Xenia Stanbridge, who is a founding leader with Neil Judd Remedies Organic, she swears by this for hay fever. So what I've done is I've just put 1 drop of each into my diffuser. It does smell really lovely. I wish we had smelly vision. Because if you think about it, peppermint, lemon and lavender are all quite strong oils, and I'm sitting pretty close to it. So probably you could get away with 2 drops of each, but probably fairly evenly, I think. So you want 2 of each rather than 3 of one and 1 of another. So peppermint oil on its own is really refreshing. It comes from steam distilled leaves. Obviously, if you've got peppermint in your garden, you can steam your leaves and make a very nice peppermint tea for yourself. Dunk them into hot boiling water. And it's a good energizing oil, this. It's good for stimulating your brain, getting your body revitalized, and put into a massage oil, it's very good as a digestive tonic. So I think it's a bit of an unsung hero actually, and it's not an expensive oil. One of the nice things about the website is that it tells you what the oils blend really well with, and you'll see there that lavender is one of the oils. Lavender and lemon are the oils are mentioned with peppermint, and that's the blend that we're talking about tonight. So it's really nice that the website advocates that as well. Lavender essential oil. The website's very careful not to say this, but actually I'm going to ask Lorraine Millard, I saw your picture earlier, just to check this out with you as an experienced aromatherapist. Am I right in saying, Lorraine, that this is the only essential oil that you can apply topically? You can apply direct to the skin? Are you there, my dear?
Yeah, sorry. I would always use any oil, even ones that are recommended, with caution to the skin, because it depends how much you're using, how often, which parts of the body you're putting it on, and also the age of somebody. So there's lots of things to consider. But of all the oils, it's great anti-inflammatory. So if you've got a little sting or your skin's not broken, it can be quite soothing and reduce inflammation. But you need to use all the oils with caution. What you don't want is somebody getting a bottle and shaking it all over themselves. And believe me, people do that.
Yeah, you're so right. That's so wise. Thank you. So to be used with caution. The reason I asked you to clarify that is that I've used it on burns with incredible effect. Not when the skin's broken, but if I catch myself on the shelf in the oven or on the iron or something like that, it's amazing and it's so comforting, but it also seems to stop scarring.
Yeah.
So topically like that, or on a little sting, it's all right, is it? Rather than, like you say, not shaking it all over yourself. But
yeah.
in an oil.
Because people, you can get sensitivities from any of the oils or anything really, but they're just very powerful. And I think because it's quite a well-known oil,
yes,
and it's you know, from nature, sometimes your customers can think that it's very safe to use in whatever way they want to use it. And so I've had somebody put a whole bottle in their bath, even though I've worked with them for 10 years and told them never to do that. I give them all the right instructions. And then they said, oh, my skin got really sensitive. I put some lavender in. I said, how much put? Well, I put the whole bottle in.
Oh, no.
You know, so people, you just, yeah.
Yeah, I hope you told her off and told her you had a reputation to uphold.
I did. Well, I'd been working with her for 10 years and I told her how to use it, but she just didn't listen this time.
Yeah, totally.
She didn't do it again.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
So a brilliant holiday SOS. There it is, soothing antiseptic essential oil. Really good to add to a lotion or a bath oil, something like that. And again, on the website, if you click on lavender, this one's the organic one, which comes from France. There's also an English lavender there, which is obviously naturally processed, but it's not certified organic as yet. You know, just so many uses, but certainly as part of this blend for hay fever. Julie, the recipe for hay fever is not so much a recipe, it's just a drop of each of lavender, peppermint and lemon. Okay, and then last off is lemon essential oil. This is an amazing oil. If you put a few drops of lemon essential oil onto a little dish with bicarb soda in your fridge, it will clear the smell of a smelly fridge. Even my Christmas Stilton, it will cut through the smell of that. If you've cooked fish or anything, as like my son made a curry the other night, and lemon essential oil, just amazing and so refreshing. But also it's cleansing, but it's quite a happy oil. It's symptomatic of holidays, and obviously ours comes from Italy, that helps. And it just is a really lovely oil, and in your starter kit, and I'm just going to have to sniff the top of this lid just to... Man, that's such an amazing fragrance. So enjoy that one. And as it says there, it blends with peppermint, rosemary and juniper as well. if you want to put it with other oils. And guys, if essential oils are new to you, I cannot recommend highly enough that essential oils book that's in the catalogue. I think it's on the same page as the essential oil blends. It's such a helpful book as a go-to, and there are either a single page or double page spreads on so many of the oils that we sell, and it's just really nice when you find yourself drawn to an oil to be able to go and look it up and learn a little bit more about it. It's amazing the knowledge that goes in by osmosis over the years. So yeah, really recommend that. So in wrapping up your selection of products, whatever you've chosen for your customers, it's a good idea to ask them what were their favourites and just recap on a few things. So in the Be Lovely collection, what I'd love you to do is just to pretend you're my customers and put into the chats which of the Be Lovely products grabbed your attention the most. Or did you love the Wild Rose Beauty Balm even more? But, you know, put in the chat what grabbed you out of the Be Lovelies. The All Over Balm. Interesting.
Yeah, All Over Balm.
And we really raved about the Be Lovely stuff when it came out, but the All Over Balm has come in the fairly recently, in the not so distant future, and I think it's a bit underrated. I think it's time to give it a new lease of life, especially with that brown sugar in it. God, my feet feel incredible. All Over Balm. Okay, now white tea range. Would you go mist to spritz your face when it's a bit overheated and a bit dehydrated, or did you like the sound of the white tea eye gel, or the mask that somebody was advocating?
I've got all three.
Sharon's going both. That's the way I shop, Sharon. And do you know someone with hay fever who could benefit from knowing about that? That's the other idea. Okay, so those of you who tried the Melissa hand cream, would you go Melissa hand cream with, or the, if you tried the polish, the same fragrance, or would you go Be Lovely hand cream?
Okay.
I want both. You'd go Melissa polish and Be Lovely hand cream, have both. I like that. Tough to alternate, yeah. Don't make me choose. And who needs to add calendula cream to their Nature's medicine cabinet? Me, love it. Okay, so, and what about the blends of oils? Do you fancy the sound of lavender, lemon and peppermint together in your diffuser? Have you got hay fever? Or would you prefer the Defense blend for its benefit in coronavirus immune support? Which would you go for? Hay fever or hay fever blend or Defense? Becky, I love that. Yes, just yes to it all. You should be a consultant, Becky. Oh, hang on. Love it. But what, guys, the reason you're doing that, now, if you were all customers, I would have made a shed load of money. But we know that that is not how everybody's going to react completely like that. But trust me, if you do that bit at the end with the chat, what you're doing is homing them in on what they want. So it's an ever so subtle selling skill. You're not asking them to purchase. You're not saying, if you'd like to order this, put your name in the chat. You're just saying, which did you prefer? And 2 choices empower people. So if you can, try and make it so that some of them are 2 choices, like I did with the hand creams, or like I did with the Be Lovelies. Which one did you choose? Which ones would you choose? Some customers really don't know where to start, and they would like some one-to-one support to help them choose. So if possible, offer them that support after the event or the next morning. When we did the sleep and relaxation one on Thursday night, they were all so blissed out and tired. Nobody could think straight or string a sentence together, let alone place orders. So actually we did all of that chat the next morning, and that's why they told me how they'd slept. But with this one, and depending on your timings of the day, it may be that you want to stay on afterwards. People can shoot off they can message you later. All this bit is a bit messy, but actually with online parties, because you haven't got people in a room and you're handing out order forms or catalogues or whatever, like we normally do, this bit is a bit looser. So you want to offer ongoing support and have something to talk to them about for the next day. So for instance, you might suggest to them that they use the rest of the Wild Rose Beauty Balm sachet that you've sent them, and that they apply that to their cleansed faces before bed, and message you to say how their skin feels in the morning. So like at the beginning, I told you that, let me just, oh no, I'm not going to stop screen sharing because I want you to see those other points. Like at the beginning when I told you that I'd given them the Beauty Sleep Concentrate and I wanted to know how they slept and what they felt like with that on their faces. Probably Wild Rose Beauty Balm is your best bet for doing the same thing with this theme. And that's the perfect conversation starter the next day. So some of them just messaged me and said how they'd slept, and we got into a conversation about their orders. And with others, I said, so come on then, how did you sleep? And so I initiated the conversation with that question, not, so do you want to order then? Which isn't very Neil Shard Remedies, is it? I hate pressure sales with a passion. So I want it to be really conversational and not pressurising. So a question that asks them how their skin feels the next day is a really nice starter for 10. Then obviously you've got the online party link, and I think I didn't mention it at the beginning, but I would suggest that you send that before the party starts so that people can have a browse. So the day of the party, set up the online party link and then send that with the instructions of what you want them to bring. So they can have a browse round at the products that you sent samples for if they want to. So if they hit that party link, what they're going to see is a little button that says shop now. They click on that, it takes them to your replicated website, and they can search any of the products you've sent samples of. Offer to resend that party link for those that decide that they want to order, and then tell them when the next one is. So when you've done your event around the 20th, probably, when's your next one? Is it the first week of June? And what's the theme? And just so you know, what we're going to be doing as our next theme is aromatherapy and diffusers. So you might decide you're going to do that as your next theme. That's going to be our next training. But you might decide you're going to do the sleep and relaxation one if you missed that. And the video for that is in the chat in my group, my team group on Facebook. And if you can't find it, just message me and I can send you that link. Okay, but it's always good to book them in for the next one. Now, the other element of this that's really growing for many of us is onward bookings from the people who are there. So if you weren't a consultant and you were customers of mine at an online Zoom now, would you just put into the chat, you just put a me or yes or something in the chat if you would consider hosting your own get-together? Because what I've done at the end of mine is to say, actually, you might be thinking, so-and-so would love this, and you might have your own group of people that you would like to host a get-together, and there are free and half-price goodies for being a host. So I'd say something like that that just promotes our host reward program. If they've all got catalogues, I'd get them to turn to page 8 and have a look at the host reward pages that are there in our catalogue. But to be honest, I can't guarantee that they have all got catalogues. So I tend to just tell them about it. And many of them have decided they want to get, the most popular thing seems to be teaching staff together. But just any group of friends, maybe it's neighbours, maybe it's girls who get together for other things. In terms of numbers, Madeline's just asking there in the chat. I mean, I think the ideal is no more than 12. It can be anything from 5 upwards. I think any fewer than that, it doesn't feel that party-ish. It can feel a bit small, the group. But I think, Madeline, in answer to your question, if you go more than 12, it's quite hard to give individual interaction. Like tonight, I haven't been able to interact with all of you. So if you've got more than 12 in mind, split them across 2 groups. And if you've got someone who wants to have more than 12 people, ask them if there's a natural divide where you could make it into 2. The other dynamic is that many of you have muted because you're Zoomy old hands, but actually for customers, too many people with their phones unmuted, and obviously it'd be more chatty with a party than it is on a training session. You get a lot of feedback in the background, so 12 would be your maximum.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's stop the share there. I hope it's been a helpful evening. If you wouldn't mind just putting into the chat if you've had light on moments or product information that's been useful, or what you got out of it, what you're going to go away and do out of this, anything like that. Just give me some feedback, because obviously I can't chat. And I see somebody's just asking for the slides. If you wouldn't mind just sending me a message on Facebook if you want the slides, that would be helpful, because otherwise I'm going to have to scroll through all the chat to find out who wants them, and then look up your messenger email address and stuff. Let's have a look. Good information, good, and hopefully practical on some tips on how to deliver as well. Well done, Claire. She's gone and advertised it on social media already. Just get on and do it. Love it.
Yeah.
Great.
Just get on and do it.
Heather, I love your top. That looks very snuggly.
Yes, my onesie.
Love it. So as we know, staying in is the new going out.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do to say thank you really is to just sit down and make a list of the people you'd like to have on your own Be Lovely event. Work out which of the products tonight you're going to put into sample pots and that you're going to get sachets for. Get organised with your stuff and let me know how it goes. It's lovely hearing the results of what people are up to. It's really nice. And if actually in your world right now Zooms don't work and you've got too many people around and it's too noisy, or you just can't rally the energy, then maybe some samples that celebrate World Bee Day and some links to your website so people can have a read, and some products to try in the post, 1-to-1, then that's good too, because you're engaging people with some of the special elements of our company. Okay. Questions in the chat. Let's have a look. Yeah, Madeline, sample pots are good. I think probably you and I need to take a chat offline, obviously, because your kit hasn't arrived yet. But yes, using the things that are in your starter kit to be able to put a little bit of product into sample pots, but also I could show you where the sample sachets are in Business Tools. And I think we might have done that, but we can chat through. And those of you who are new, please speak to your recruiter and just get them to help you find your way around the Business Tools and some top tips on sampling. Okay. Yeah. Right, lovely to see you guys. We've gone over on time, but hopefully it's been really helpful. Sleep well.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.